2.
Welcome to another edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 and longest continuously running program about real estate. And today we have a very special show. One of our favorite guests who we like to come back because he always brings us good information and additional knowledge. We all know what's going on in the real estate market right now, and perhaps there has never been a better time to be a real estate investor in today's marketplace. Now, we've talked about some solutions for homeowners that are upside down. We've talked about solutions for even first-time homeowners. But let's talk a little bit now from the other side of the coin. First of all, let me introduce to you Mario Caprini, the founder of Capital Group. Welcome to our program today.
Thanks, Eric. Nice to be here.
Glad to have you back. And one of the things that we want to talk about, let's talk about the other side of the table now, because all of these programs are possible because there are investors.
Correct.
And these are investors now that are enjoying one of the best opportunities in the marketplace, and perhaps you want to talk to us about that.
Well, as you know, we've developed the lease ownership program, and when you start any program, you start funding it yourself, so we were the investor. And the demand is so high that, you know, regardless how much money you have, there's always more needed.
So nobody's checkbook is unlimited.
So now we started sharing this information with other investors, and basically what the lease ownership program is a very nice tool to mitigate risk. I think if anybody's learned a lesson in the real estate market, it's the investor. Right. A lot of people speculated and got burned. So what we're doing is a very sound approach to real estate. Okay, all the fundamentals are in. We use our Realizer software, which enables us to calculate real return on your money. We make sure that all the data is based on market conditions, so market rents, not boosted rents. We're buying their units. You know, we've created a team with Capital Group Realty and other realtors, but Capital Group Realty guys are all trained. They understand the program for the investors. Right. And basically, we buy from the banks, and the fee that we charge for the banks are paid by the banks in our deals. So we're able to offer a product for the investor at below market. And now a steady flow of inventory, which is also very difficult to get. So we're getting you good product in good neighborhoods at below market. And the nice thing about it is you have the more aggressive investors who say, okay, I'll buy, I'll put my money up, and I'll try to flip it, or I'll try to resell it quickly. You know, that's pretty risky business.
And the idea of the word try and investing don't seem to go well in the same sentence.
And in our approach, we want sound investments. So we like to target the investor who are more experienced, who are looking for less risky stuff. And basically what we're saying is we're going to find you a lease ownership tenant. Basically that's a buyer. So before you buy your unit, we already have your buyer lined up. So let's say, for example, we bought it from the bank at $42,000 and we resold it to our investor at $50,000 because our fees are the difference, and the unit's worth $55,000. So they're buying it at below market regardless. Okay. Now they're able to resell it at $86,000, which is above market, to the lease ownership tenant. Now, why would a lease ownership tenant do that? It's very simple, because the lease ownership program gives them a 5-day window. A 5-year window. I wish it was a 5-day window. A 5-year window to stabilize their finances and stabilize the economy, so that the investor has 5 years of steady income. They don't have to worry about the re-renting the unit every year, recarpeting, repainting, answering the calls, the plumbing is blocked, the toilet's overflowing, blah, blah, blah. Lease ownership owners are owners. It's their house. Right. So you get the rent. Okay, you pay the taxes, you pay the condo fees, and the rest is the ownership. So you get your steady monthly distribution, your cash flow is happening, your property management is a lot simpler, the risk is much lower because, one, you have a 1-year warranty on your product when you buy it, so like that you don't have to worry about unexpected expenses. And number two, you have a motivated buyer who is going through credit repair, who is willing to take on the maintenance of the house, and is making a commitment of 5 years to pay with increases every year, and makes the promise in a contract to buy the unit at a substantial profit. Now, how do we determine the prices? We don't just pick them out of the air. We use our software, we do cyclical analysis, so we know how high the trends went up, what percentages went up, what percentages went down, and what the median was. So it's pretty simple to see now on the data, and you can check that out on our website. 90dayfreshstart.com, or you can go to cgflorida.com and look through the various programs. You'll find the answers there. But going through that, you're going to easily see that you're at the bottom of the pricing range. And by being there, you know that it's only going one way, is up. And we track these prices, so we're not just thinking it's going back up maybe. You know, we have the data to supply you so that you can make intelligent decisions.
It's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when.
Right, and how much. So we provide the investor with a very secure environment to invest their money, with a very, very clear exit strategy, which is of key importance nowadays, and not have to worry about all the problems of foreclosure, because these are commercial transactions. So if the lease ownership tenant doesn't pay on time, you know, like any normal deal, there are circumstances that warrant that, but they're allowed 2 defaults in any 12-month period. And that enables the investor to change the lease ownership tenant, and there's a guarantee by our company to replace the lease ownership tenant if they default or leave. So it's a very secure environment. What we try to do is create the perfect environment for us to create long-term relationship with investors. And that brought us to the next thing, is IRA money. All these people are sitting on their IRAs, and they can do self-directed IRAs into real estate that they can pick and choose. In the neighborhoods, they can pick and choose, and help people they possibly want to help. You know, always within the respect of the rules.
A lot of people don't know that they can use their IRAs to invest in real estate. But the thing about IRAs, and you know, no investment is guaranteed.
Of course not.
Okay, but certainly when you know upfront what your purchase price and what your sale price is, and if you know upfront what your cash flow is, I mean, that's the kind of investment that an investor in today's marketplace is really looking for.
Right.
And as I'm just looking, it says we have less wear and tear because a homeowner, someone who is buying or moving into a property as a homeowner, is going to treat the property better.
Right.
So as an investor, whoever treats my collateral better makes me feel better. I'm looking that it's a lot simpler because all the steps seem to be ironed out, and you have a pretty step-by-step method. Less risk, longer-term tenants. In fact, hopefully there won't be any turnover at all, because if the investment works out the way that it normally does, it's a straight sale.
Yeah, and the risks are much lower now because we're starting at the bottom of the cycle. As we know, it's a cyclical economy we have. So if you were buying at Trump Towers, the $1 million condo, you probably can buy it today for $400,000 instead of $1 million. So the key is, right now is the time to get back into the real estate investment game, so that you can really build up or get back the equity you lost in the life cycle.
And a part that I have to tell you and admit that one of the things that I seem to like best about this, you didn't mention banks in this equation at all.
No banks. Everybody pays cash.
No banks.
So we buy from the banks. The only role they play is they're the seller.
Very good. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's program. A very, very interesting approach to real estate investing, a much more secure way of investing in real estate. Mario, thanks again for coming in and being a regular guest in our program, and again, bringing some really innovative ideas to our listeners.
Thank you, Eric. Look forward to coming soon.
We'll have to have you back. That's it for us today. Have a great day.